All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5, and hope you guys are doing well. And in front of us, we have the patch notes for update 18.2. We're going to be going through the entire patch notes in this video, so this is going to be a longer one, but hopefully I'll have my TLDR video out for a quicker version of this. And if you want to see a quick version of what was revealed with Deston, you can check out my previous TLDR video on the reveal of that map, which quickly goes over everything. But again, this is sort of separate. We had the reveal of the entire map and some of its features, and this is the actual update here for 18.2, which is now playable on the PC test server as of July 6th. And then this is going live on PC on July 13th and on console July 21st. I know this gets confusing sometimes when this is all launching, but again, only playable on PC test server, and then it goes live on PC and console later. And this morning, I had the privilege of playing this map and testing it out with PUBG Andy. Tradition to go through this and test it out, which was awesome. We saw all the new features, so I can give you guys a lot of in-game experience here and stuff that we talked about in chat. Also got to play with another employee of PUBG, Steve the Happy Whale, for the first time, which was awesome. And then a friend of mine, Burn Suave, aka Jinky. So we had a great time playing duos and then squads on Deston. Here is the full map, and I'm going to lower or decrease my webcam size. So I'm sure you guys have seen this all over the place, and we can kind of talk about a few things as we go through. So they're just saying here that Deston is going to be a featured map off the bat, off the Ripton, and then there's going to be the regular queue of 5 maps. No word yet of what's going to happen after that. We're going to assume that it's going to get, put into the rotation, but will there be 5 maps or 6 maps? Who knows? Lately, PUBG's only been doing 5 maps. And I know a lot of people have been upset about that with rotating things out, but that's a discussion for another video. So we have that. Here are some important things to note. On this map, there are some things that are not available. Included in that are the flare gun, the DP28, the S12K, G36C, QBU, QBZ, K2, sticky bomb, mortar, lynx, 15x scope. So some of this stuff makes sense. A lot of these guns are just map specific guns. Excuse me as I hit my mic stand. There's no flare guns, so that means there's no BRDM or care packages. No BRDM, no need for the lynx, because the lynx special feature is that it shoots through the BRDM, and then the 15x scope only spawns in the flare guns. So that makes sense. And then in regards to vehicles, excuse me, there's a million different vehicles on this map. And then the bonus one is that we have the new vehicle, the airboat. And then on top of that, there's a brand new shotgun. The S12K is out. This is the Origin 12, the 012 or Origin 012, whatever they're calling it, shotgun. It's the slug shotgun, auto shotgun. And then also in the reveal, they revealed that the MP9 is coming into the map, but that gun is not going to be available at launch. It's coming in a later update. And then also, there was a really cool cop car in the launch, and I can't believe, or in the reveal, I can't believe the cop car is not featured in the launch, but it's actually not in the game yet, which to me is a huge fail that they didn't put that car in immediately, but that will be coming in a later update. So right now, we're missing the MP9 and the really cool cop car. But back to the vehicles, we have the pickup, the Dacia, the coupe, motorbike, dirt bike, quad, the roadster motorcycle, the buggy, the boat, aqua rail, and airboat. So this map is packed with different kinds of vehicles, and the airboat is really, really cool. Hopefully you've seen some footage of that already. But again, the cop car is not in, MP9 is not in, Origin 12 shotgun is in. And then throughout the day, we pretty much made it to all of the locations today, checking out every spot. Only went to Ripton once. It really is crazy how massive this is. It's easy to kind of get around because of the way it's built. You can't really go in all of the buildings. You can get on the bottom floor and like the top floor of all the buildings. So they kind of took out all the middle stuff, which totally makes sense. But because the buildings are so massive, we kind of got separated as a squad, and when people got knocked, it's like, hey, I'm like 4 buildings down from you. And it was kind of taking a while to get to everybody. But I'll tell you guys right off the bat that the new ziplines make this game feel so much quicker in a good way. It's still got the PUBG feel of, hey, it's a slow map, but the zipline allows you to speed up and get to places that might have taken you so long in the past. And I think this is one of the biggest improvements in PUBG gameplay that I've seen in a long time. And I think it's something that we're going to be talking about into the future. Then we have the swamp location, which is really cool. I'm sure a lot of people are worried about, is this going to be a pain in the ass to drive through and walk through? A lot of the swamp locations, the water is very low, so you can actually just walk through it pretty easily, which is nice. And definitely designed really well. And obviously, this is a great spot for the airboat, which is really cool. Then we have the concert venue, which this was highlighted in the reveal. Very cool area. The concert's actually playing live music, and this is just a really fun place on the map. And these are just a few of the many places highlighted. There's a really cool dam area. There's the paintball arena. There's the lodge assembly. So many cool spots on this map. And I don't think it can be repeated enough and talked about enough that because this map has so many different areas, it's got the swamp area, the desert area, the water area, the wind farm area, the city, so many different spots, the grassland. It feels like it's a bunch of different maps in one, which is cool in one way. And then in another way, it makes the map feel much bigger than it is, because if you play in a map like Tego or Erangel, it's kind of uniform throughout the whole map, all right? Like a lot of Erangel looks the same. The buildings look the same. If you're on Tego, a lot of the buildings look the same, even in the cities. But here, every city just looks completely different. It looks like you're in a different area of the map. So like it makes you want to explore that area so much more, because you're not like, oh, this is just the same compound copy and pasted. It's so different in every area that you can really spend so much time in every spot. So this is just going to be like really, really fun to explore for a very long time, which is pretty cool. And then here they're talking about there's some items that are included on your character that they're calling map utility items. But basically everybody spawns with the zipline hook, and everybody has now basically unlimited parachutes that you can use over and over and over again. You have to watch out though. I thought it would be funny just to crash into a building and use my parachute again, but you can actually kind of get stuck up against the building and fall to your death. So watch out. I mean, I didn't, but basically use that for emergency purposes, I guess. But you can actually probably use it to maybe get down faster if you want to like get rid of your parachute. I don't think you can cut it really high, but if you crash into something, you could fall again. It definitely is going to allow people to attempt to get to riskier places. And if they miss it and the parachute cuts, then they have a second parachute, right? Like sometimes there's those landing spots that are so small that if you miss it, you'll fall off and die. But in this case, you can actually use it again. So those two items you can use over and over again. I guess they're calling this a utility parachute in terms of in the patch notes. And then also, if you're having a question, the emergency pickup just reminds me of this, because the parachute is not available on Deston. So I don't know if we're going to go through it here, but the self-revive is on Deston. The Blue Zone Nade is on Deston. There's no comeback BR as of yet. Nothing like that. No gulag, nothing like that. No gliders, no emergency pickup, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of similar to Tego in that way. No gliders on Tego either, but a lot of similar items as Tego. And then to kind of boost the zip lines, PUBG also added in these cell towers, which is kind of like Apex or Call of Duty. We talked about this a lot. You can basically head to these, shoot up them on the zip line, and then parachute away. And you can tell which, because there are some other towers that don't have the zip lines. You can tell which ones have the zip lines because there's the tarp here that you can notice. So if you see something with a tarp, you know there's a zip line. So if you're like driving through a town or a city or buy this stuff, quickly look for that like orange tarp, and then you know if you can ascend it quickly. And this is huge because if you see a player on top of a building, you like, for example, I don't know if I have the footage of it, but we got a knock on a guy that was on a pretty tall building. It wasn't huge, but it was like a 5-story building, 4 or 5-story building. And in most cases in PUBG, we'd have been like, yeah, we can't push that guy. But I saw that there was a tarp. So I'm like, let's push. We drove up to it, went up, and we're able to take out the team because we could actually push up there fast enough, which was, to me, made the game feel so much more fun, because it was still the same pace as PUBG, but when we wanted to get aggressive, we could kind of push it and make that situation a lot faster. And this is very easy to use. You just hold up on the thumbstick or W, and you'll just launch up the zip line, and then you exit by hitting like interaction key X or one of the main keys, and you kind of fly off it, which is easy. And then here, there's a lot of secret locations in Deston. And instead of doing like a secret, regular secret room, kind of like Tego or like Pramo, where it's like a hidden kind of room, they kind of I think they did this in a really smart way. So the pillar guard, which is on Haven, the pillar are back on this map on Deston, but there's actually not any pillar guards roaming the map. There's no NPCs or anything like that, or kill trucks or loot trucks, nothing like that. No automated things in this game so far, this map. So if you find a certain key, these also stack. You can hold multiple of them. As you go through different areas of Deston, you'll see that there's lockers or trucks that are pillar trucks or pillar lockers. You can actually go in, unlock it, and there's a chance for high tier loot or better vests and stuff like that. And there's a lot of different secret locations in the map where you can use these keys. So it's definitely like useful to find one of these keys and hold on to it. If I'm on like Pramo and I get a secret key, I like don't even care. I just drop it because finding the places is kind of annoying. In this, it feels a lot more smooth and a lot more intentional, and I feel like it flows with the map a lot better. And then PUBG also added in these areas and high-rise buildings and in some places where you cannot reach them on foot or as a person, as your character. You can actually fly your drone into like little areas that are only for the drone and go in and pick up loot. If you can remember, you can actually pick up loot with the drone. I know a lot of people don't use the drone, but you can actually do that. However, we tested this out. I know it's just on the test server, but I used the drone to go into 2 of these locations. One of them had like nothing, and the other one just had an adrenaline syringe. So if there's only going to be a syringe in here, it's 100% not worth it to take up a primary weapon slot for your drone, sit there, fly into the spot, and get a syringe. I mean, to me, this needs to be some like heavy duty gear. I mean, like a guaranteed key card or like a sniper rifle or like an AUM or a crate weapon or something. I mean, this is like a whole process to go and do this. I'm definitely not going there just for a syringe, which you can find on the ground. So that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear you guys, but I feel like that needs to be fixed for it to be actually kind of cool. But the idea concept is great. PUBG also adding in a usable gas station where you can pull up and fuel your vehicle. We actually forgot to fuel up the vehicle on stream today because I think every time we saw a gas station, we were shooting the gas station to watch it blow up. So how this works is that you only have to shoot the gas station one time with one bullet. Each individual pump will blow up. And then there's a timer after like a few seconds, the gas station, well, you shoot the gas station, it'll catch on fire. And then after a few seconds, it blows up. Not exactly sure on the timer, maybe like somewhere between 4 and 7 seconds. But this is an automatic process that happens. And I think they might mention it here. It says that the radius for refueling your vehicle is about 5 meters. There's no limit to the fuel pump, so you can just keep gassing up all the time. The fuel pumps have a health value, but it seems like I said it's only like 1. After receiving damage, the fuel pumps will spark and begin leaking gas and then explode after a few seconds. And there you go. After it's destroyed, it cannot be used. So this is going to be great if you can catch a team like going to fuel up for gas. But what are the odds? I mean, people really don't fuel up for gas a lot. So I don't know if we're really going to be able to catch people doing this. But in concept, it's a great idea. And there also is some loot here. So you definitely could catch people maybe going for some loot and then blowing up the gas station, which would be pretty sweet. And then moving down here, we just have some more information about that. Here's the new weapon I was talking about, the auto shotgun, the Origin 12. So it's kind of weird that they're calling this the O12 because it's the Origin 12, right? It's just weird seeing it called as O12, but it is the O12 shotgun. And this takes a slug instead of the regular buckshot. So it's a different ammo type. Someone in the chat said it looked like 7.62, but it's a yellow ammo type and it's a slug. So it's its own thing. And at first I thought this was a bad idea. It's kind of annoying that they're putting in its own ammo type. But if you remember, there are a lot of weapons on the battlegrounds that have their own ammo type, kind of like the crossbow. And then I'm blanking on a few of the other guns that have their own ammo type. But it basically takes over that spot. And to be honest, I'm not sure if the crossbow exists on Deston. I don't remember seeing it. But since there's a lot of these shotguns, it's not that weird. I know some people were complaining about that in the stream, that they should combine the ammos on them or have an option where you pick up both. But I think it was personally fine. We'll see if they make any changes to it in the future. But I think this is here to stay for the most part. And you might think auto shotgun, this is going to be completely overpowered, but since it's a slug, you have to be more accurate with your shots, and the gun has a very high recoil pattern, so it seems to balance it out. And this is definitely for short/close range, so not something you want at medium or far range. So definitely kind of situational, especially on a map like Deston. It's definitely going to be more of an AR, DMR sniper heavy map, in my opinion. Then here we go, the beautiful airboat. This thing is such a sick vehicle. A little hard to drive, especially on land, can definitely get you killed, but this thing flies on water. There's a couple different cool skins that spawn with this. The Thrasher, the Alligator, something, Executor. There's a lot of cool skins here, and this thing is just really fun to drive. There's a driver's seat, and then the 4 people can sit in the front, and this is a great vehicle for a lot of the terrain on Deston because there's a lot of water, swampy areas, and then 2 main rivers that go through the map. And this is a really, really fun vehicle. Pure fun. Nothing negative about this, in my opinion. Just pure fun. No drive-bys on that, but we'll get it done. Also, I think they lowered the speed on the reveal. It looked like it was almost going like 150 kilometers, and here it says 125. And I noticed it felt a little, or looked a little slower. Then we have some changes to Miramar here. So out of nowhere, insert whatever meme of changes coming into the game. PUBG players asking for all the things they want, and then PUBG in changing the warehouse. Insert meme there. But the old classic warehouse on the left is green, and then we have the new one here on the right. So one of the first things you'll notice is that the doors here are different. The setup on the main part is different. And then there's a big door on the right instead of 2 doors. And there's also this window here, but you can't actually access this window in most of these things. That's kind of just like decorative there. Hopefully I'll have some footage inside here, but the inside is completely different. It's like 2 giant rooms that are separated by a wall. And then there's still an occasional warehouse where you can access the top floor. So if you guys remember, I think in like Miramar Remastered, they made it where some of these warehouses you could get on the 2nd floor and actually get onto the roof. So they still do have those versions of this warehouse. There's one by south of La Bendita, north of Los Leones. There's a warehouse where you can get on the top still. But most of these are just set up as a single story, like giant warehouse. And then also very slight change to the brick building. Not a huge change here. You can just see like they kind of changed the look on the outside. It looks a little bit more tarnished. The roll-up doors are gone now. You can see the roll-up doors on the left are gone on the right. And as you go around the building, you can see some slight changes. And then not mentioned, or it does say here, some houses and buildings have been improved. If you look around the map, a lot of the buildings look different. The 2-story buildings look different paint jobs on a couple different 2-story buildings. And if you go around the map, you'll notice that there's been like kind of like a upgrade for Miramar in terms of visuals. Like it just got a little bit of a fresh coat of paint and got a little bit of love. And it seems like you're more in a deserty kind of shanty town. And honestly, it looks pretty dope. So I really like the way it looks. And it's a little, strange to go back, but anything that makes the game look better is cool. But when you change major buildings, I know some people will be upset, but overall, I think this is a net positive. They also added some billboards to the map, and they changed Oasis. So Oasis is the unnamed location on the top of the map that a lot of people call Oasis, and now officially has a name and has completely changed. You guys got to check this out. I definitely have to put in footage here to show you because it's a lot different. And now there's 2 main roads. There's a main road that goes on the back of it and one of the main roads that goes straight to it. And the whole mountain here in the front has completely changed. So there used to be a huge mountain here. And then on the back was Oasis with a lot of different water and just really hard area to navigate. So I think this was a great change overall, but I am kind of intrigued at how they changed this mountain so much. I feel like they could have maybe kept one side kind of large there, or maybe even made the water part bigger up here. I don't know, but this is what they did. And I think in any case, it's undeniable that this is going to make it more of a playable area, when in the past, people only went there when the final circle went up there or the zone went up there, and it was just an absolute shit show. I mean, everybody loves Oasis circles because they're crazy, but that mountain did kind of cause like a big choke point, and it just made going up there kind of hectic. So maybe this will be more of a playable area on the map. But I don't want to get sidetracked too sidetracked here. But I've always said that Miramar has some of the coolest locations in PUBG, but they're all on the outside, like prison, Alcantara, the military base, Campo Militar. But it doesn't matter what they do to the outside unless the circles are going to go here. It doesn't matter, right? Because if the circles aren't going to go on the edge, then we're not going to see these areas of the map because it just punishes you to land here because then the circles are so far away. So hopefully they kind of adjust the circles a little bit at some point. They've also added some more vehicle spawns, which is nice, which is definitely needed on Miramar. And then here's kind of a interesting topic. I'm a console player, so this is something that's exciting, but people have been waiting for this and kind of freaking out about this for a very long time. So I think I'm going to save this for another video, but the console graphic options are here. This has been kind of talked about as a next gen upgrade, but it is an upgrade, but this is more about giving us options than an absolute upgrade. But this is very exciting for us console players out there. So finally, we are going to be able to play, if you have a next gen console, at 60 frames per second at a higher resolution and have better options for anti-aliasing. So if you're a PC player out there and you're listening to this, console we've been lagging behind. We eventually got 60 frames per second, but it took years into PUBG to get that. So since the Xbox One X a couple years ago, we got 60 frames per second, but we still have really bad anti-aliasing. We don't have any options on console to fix that. Because the consoles just run out of memory and then they crash running the game. So now we're finally going to have options to choose what kind of anti-aliasing we want, FXAA and TAAA, and that we can decide if we want better anti-aliasing that might come at a cost or some ghosting, or if we want the traditional one that works and doesn't have any performance issues. So more on that. I'm going to do some more research and make a second video about that for all my console people out there. But what's really exciting, again, if you have the latest and greatest consoles, you're going to be able to play in 4K at 60 frames per second, which is huge for this game. And then obviously if you play in 1440p or whatever with downscale back down to that, I don't have a 4K monitor, so I'll be doing 1440p. But that's very exciting, and I really hope this makes some kind of noticeable difference that makes it better for us on console. And as always, with every update, PUBG, not every update, but very often, PUBG is trying to make the game better. And they did do some performance upgrades for console in this update, which is really nice. And even for some of the lower end consoles as well. And then we have Survivor Pass Deston. I posted a video on my channel going over some of the items that are going to be in this pass. Very cool Survivor Pass. I love some of the items in here. It's got a great like kind of Native American vibe. The skins are really cool. And I don't know if they're introducing more lore stuff, but there's like a hunter outfit, like a hunter class. And it seems like it could have to do with a little bit of the lore of Deston. So I think that's really sweet. And then on the back of this, and included in the Survivor Pass, are some items for a new workshop. So this is, again, something that's going to be for a whole nother video in the future. This isn't available on the test server yet, but there's going to be a whole new workshop section of PUBG, which is going to be a whole crafting area for items in the game. And this is going to be where you can get a bunch of different items. There's keys, vouchers, imprints, credits, and tokens. You're going to be able to take these vouchers, imprints, credits, and tokens and collect them, save up for things, and you're going to be able to use them to craft different boxes, I guess, or different items. Basically, this is a way to get new content in the game and also unlock old content that was previously in PUBG. So PUBG literally went through and tagged all of their items. I mean, most of the items are flagged for like rare, epic, legendary, super rare, special. So every item now has is listed, and there's going to be some items that are available that were maybe only available in season 1 that you'll be able to, if you save up your vouchers, imprints, credits, and all that stuff, you might be able to craft an old item from years ago that when you didn't play. So this is similar in some other video games, and League of Legends does this, where you can kind of break down duplicates and get shards, and in this case, vouchers or imprints. And it's just a whole nother system to kind of, get you involved in the game and the store and items and all that stuff. So again, we're going to need to, I'm one of those people where I read through this. It's still pretty confusing. Disassembling, imprinting, credit, crafting, all this stuff. I need to see this in game. And once we get this all figured out, once it goes live, I'll have a video for you guys breaking down on how it works out. Also PUBG, this is crazy. So much overhauling going on. I mean, this is like PUBG 2.0 kind of, or PUBG 3.0, whatever you want to call it. So with this, we're finally getting a weapon mastery overhaul. So we're going to be able to prestige our weapons for anybody that's kind of used to the old Call of Duty system. Right now, all the weapons and things just go up to 100. Now, once you hit 100, you'll be able to reset that, go back to 0, and then you'll be like in prestige 1 or tier 1. And now we can do that up to, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 times. I guess you can reset 5 times. So master tier would technically be rank 700. So now there's plenty of time to continue leveling up your weapons. And on the back of that, this includes new medals and new rewards, and also new nameplates or faceplates for the weapons. So you'll see new plates as you level them up and become mastered. I think you can kind of see it here. You can see this person just has like a regular DBS thing, but around their M4, it's kind of red there, showing that maybe they're like tier 2 or tier 3, whatever. I can't really see quickly off the top of my head here, but I'm sure that will kind of upgrade over time. And then you also be able to see advanced stats on those guns. So you can see per match stats and then also lifetime stats with this weapon. So I think here they're showing that for the M4, this person has 1,100 kills, their headshot ratio, average damage, time played with that weapon, and all this stuff is going to be right here. So PUBG is trying to step up their information in the actual game client, trying to make it more of an incentive to level up your guns. They're adding in new medals, but again, some of these are little, whatever, we'll get into in a second. And then they're also dropping the charm system from the game and adding that into BP. A little bit of a cop-out because they just got rid of the charms, and they said that if you already have them for the gun, that they'll be unlocked for free. But basically what they did is they're just moving the charms to the store. So if you already unlock them with the weapon, you'll have them available for free. And if you don't, then you'll have to buy them. But it's still a little confusing, but I hope this isn't their way of just saying, here, we're giving you BP items. But yeah, now this is separate. And now part of the leveling up is just going to be prestiging your weapons, excuse me. Here are some of the new medals that are coming to the game. Medal of Service, 1 year of playing PUBG. Adding a friend, reaching Platinum Diamond Master Collector, or Platinum Diamond Master Collector is something separate. So you can see you get these for doing it 1 time, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. Collectors buying all of your items in the shop. I mean, come on, PUBG, like they're just trying to incentivize you to spend money. I'm not buying stuff in my shop, so I'm not going to be getting any collector badges. And then this is a weapon mastery medal for mastering your weapon, resetting it. And yeah, so this is cool. This is a great first step. I love that they did the prestige, but I wish the medals were cooler. To me, this is kind of like a lame attempt at the medals. There could be so many cool medals out there, but they choose collector. So really, to me, this just shows they're trying to incentivize people who play ranked. They're trying to incentivize people to spend money. So I'd like to see some more just straight up cool things that are fun. But that's just me. PUBG's a little corporate now. We get it. We get it. You're a corporation. You want the money. All right. Custom match stuff. Okay. We get it. We get it. We get it. Here's the performance stuff I was talking about before. And hopefully this will be great for us console players, and then a bunch of bug fixes and stuff like that. So I feel like I kind of crapped out on you guys towards the end here, but this is just a lot to talk about. And I already streamed for like 5-6 hours today. So I've just been going and talking. Here's the list of all of like the items they tagged that I was mentioning before at the bottom. But just a quick recap. So yes, we have the new medals, prestige system, charms now are in the store off the guns. You can now do more weapon stuff, more stats, weapon stats in game, more medals to be earned. We have a new crafting system in the game. It's kind of like the hideout crate. This is a new version of that, which should be interesting to say the least. New survivor pass for Deston. Finally getting some performance updates for console. Miramar getting a facelift, a beautiful, beautiful facelift. And then all of the cool new features on Deston. So many things to explore, so much room for activities. So if you want to have some fun with me and check out Deston, you can find me streaming every day, Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/Blitz5 and friends. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like, it helps out the video. And stay tuned for more fun content and the TLDR video, which should be a good time. As always, thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.